Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Man, today is our 900th episode. 900 episodes on the Account for Life podcast. Man, I'm looking forward to 1,000. That'll be happening very soon. Be happening in about 100 days. So, wow, what an awesome, incredible day. All right, let's jump right into this. What I wish I knew in my 20s. Look, if you're anything like me, you've gotten past your 20s, gotten past your 30s, you got to 40, and then you took a stop or a pivot. But then you got to 50 and you was like, man, oh man, what if I knew that? What if I knew that? So what am I talking about today? And what I'm talking about today is simple. It's in Proverbs. This whole month, we're doing Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 16. You know it. You've probably heard it. You've probably recited it many times. A gift opens the way for the giver. A gift opens the way for the giver. I'm reading from the NIV. A gift opens the way for the giver. What? Wow, this is so interesting. It's nothing like giving a gift. So when you have a gift and you give it, all of a sudden things just open up. Man, I'm gonna tell you. What's up, honey? How you doing? I know my wife Jenny. I know she's listening to this, but it felt so good to literally take what was mine. I had a car that I liked. Maybe not. Oh my goodness, I love this car. I mean, I loved it, but I liked the car, and I gave it up for my wife, and I bought her a car, something that she wanted, and I'm driving her old car. It felt better to do that. I said, man, that felt good. It feels good to give. It's kind of like, man, one time I gave some money to some kids, and it was just, I normally give money. Like I see them on the street, they want to help, I'm giving them money. And it actually didn't feel so good that particular day, just because of what kind of happened. I'm not going to get into that story, but normally when I do things, I see people at the supermarket and like, oh, I'm homeless. Oh, we're trying to get groceries. I'll go in and buy them groceries. One day I just went to the ATM and pulled out like $500 and just handed it to somebody who had some kids, and it was like Thanksgiving time, whatever. Whether or not people are scamming, I don't really care, because when you give, it feels better. It feels way better giving. Now, I'm not saying it's not good to receive, because when it's time to receive, we should receive it. But when we give, it's way better. I'm getting to where I'm going today. It's so a gift opens a way for the giver. And then it says, then it ushers the giver into the presence of the great. So wait a second. All right. This may not even take long today. If I give, right, it opens up something. But where it takes me to someplace even greater than where I was. So what am I saying today? What did I actually wish I knew in my 20s? First thing I wish I knew, what is a gift? What is a gift? Like, what is that? Now, I've seen what a gift is. Christmas time comes and you wrap them and you unwrap them and you get something. Your birthdays come and somebody gives you something. Yeah, but I'm not talking about that kind of gift. I'm talking about the kind of gift that will usher you, me, if you will, into the presence of the greats. What is that? Tell me, what is a gift and how do I access it? Now, here's the problem. Before we get into how we can access it, here's the problem. We got to know what the problems are before we get there. Because if we're not aware of the problem or potential problems, then we'll overlook them, and then we'll wonder why we never got there. So here's the problem. The culture that you and I live in don't want you to know what your gift is. The culture you and I live in don't want you to know what your gift is. Come on, Jay, you conspiracy theorist. Well, you better hope so. Today, you better hope so. Why? Because if you have a gift and that's not the main thing of your life, your business, your existence, we're missing it. Can you have a good life and not discover your gift? No. I don't know. Maybe you could. But usually what I'm discovering, man, is that people get to the end and then they question life. I've seen this happen. They question life at the end. Even they had a good life. They were successful. Maybe they gave a lot. They were helping people. And they get there like, man, was there more? There was. Do you know what your gift is? I don't know what my gift was. Wow. So that's one of the questions I wish I would ask. What is my gift? See, no one said in any class that I took, I went to Christian schools. No one said in any class we should be focused more on discovering our gift, our purpose of who God said we are or who God wants us to be. No one said that. What they said is, oh, you should just learn all the stuff in the Bible, or you should just study the Bible, which we should. We should know what's in here, but not just to quote it. Like, I don't want to just quote this scripture and say, oh, a gift opens a way for the giver and ushers the giver into the grave. Like, I don't want to even do that. I don't want to just quote it. I want to say, well, I know what my gift is. See, what's interesting about gifts, I got to get close. What's interesting about gifts is this. The thing that you're gifted at is the thing that you do that it's just so simple. Like, you don't even realize how gifted you are at something. Part of my gift is having this innate ability to just kind of go and do something over and over and over and over and over. Become consistent, be disciplined, be, I don't know, it's almost like committed. People say, man, Jay, you just keep going. Now, but that also can hurt me. So sometimes gifts are good on one side, but they're on the other side of it. We could easily mess something up because we're not aware of something. So the key is awareness. When you discover your gifts, when you understand the innate part of you that you do, it's what you do. It's not because I'm an accountant. No, that's not a gift. Now, I may have a gift of seeing numbers or being able to process fast, but that's not necessarily the skill of accounting or the skill of taxes. No, those are things that anybody can learn. But a gift is something that's so unique to you. See, part of what I've discovered just being a Christian is that they try and lump everybody into groups, which I'm not like, there are groups of gifts, but the thing is we all have a different application of what these gifts are. Very different. Everybody's gifts are very different. So when I look at myself, right, and I look at myself and I say, man, like, I didn't know what my gift was. I didn't understand it. I have this thing within me where people all of a sudden just feel, they get calm. I don't know where that come from. I don't know where that came from. I just know that happens. It's almost like when I'm involved with things, it's like things balance out. It's weird. So a lot of times we think the gift is something external, but it's not. It's something that's so internal to you that is so close to you that you don't even, sometimes we miss it. I'm just flat out. We miss what the gift is. I want you to analyze something today. Analyze yourself. Analyze kind of like what you do, not from the perspective of the work that you're doing, but analyze kind of like how you're doing things, the temperament that you have, how people interact with you. Like, analyze that whole thing. Because what you're going to discover is you'll start discovering just, okay, that's me. It's about you. That's me. And once you can start pinpointing, oh, that's interesting. Wow, nobody else can do that. Nobody else can do it like that. It's almost like, I may have shared this story before. The way that I learn is I literally take something and I deposit it. I deposit it to the point where I can't see it no more because I don't want to think about doing it. What I want to do is I want to put it in there so that I don't have to think about it and I can just do it. So how did I learn how to do something like that? I didn't. I can't tell you how I learned it. I just know that usually when it comes to something that I want to do, the first thing I'm looking for is a pattern. I'm looking for a pattern. If there's a pattern that I can mimic to get it in, then I want to get that pattern in there. Case in point. This one is easy because I'm doing it right now. It's the push-up challenge. If you're not in it, get in it. But I'm doing 500 push-ups a day. But back in 2018 or 2019, it might have been 2019, I started doing 1,000 push-ups a day. But I didn't know how to do 1,000 push-ups in a day. It was hard. I was like, yo, what was I thinking when I said 1,000 push-ups? Here's what I learned from it. It put me in a position to discover more about myself from making a goal that made no sense. Now, it's taken me some years to just to even unpack this method, because it's a method. Yesterday, I hope you didn't miss yesterday's, oh my goodness, the Joshua 1 principle. I hope you got it. The Joshua 1 principle. That's another one where I looked at it. I read it over and over. I memorized it. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it until it just deposited. Till it's me. That's something that I do. That's kind of like, you ever heard of a framework? A framework is a way to do something. It's kind of like, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Maybe not necessarily in order, but it's usually a few things you have to do to accomplish something. So with the push-ups, 1,000 push-ups, I'm like, man, how am I going to do these 1,000 push-ups? So I'm doing them. And then when I realized, man, if I just do 10 push-ups, if I do 10 push-ups for 100 minutes, I get to my 1,000. That's less than 2 hours. So all I got to do is break that up all throughout the day. Then I start playing around with it. Well, what if I do 20 push-ups? Then that's only 50 minutes. What if I do 25? That's only 40 minutes. I'm like, yo, this is wow. Now, but not try and do them. I'm not trying to do them all consecutively, but what I'm doing is I'm teaching my brain. I'm teaching my brain how to look at it and make it small so that my brain is not overwhelmed with it being hard, because your brain doesn't want to do anything hard. What your brain wants to do is stay comfortable. But once the brain can see that, oh, this is something I can do. Oh, this is nothing. All of a sudden, a goal that was really big becomes small. I've been doing this with money, and hopefully this year I'll be able to teach it. I've been doing it with money, and it's so interesting. It's weird because you gotta knock the goal down. You have to start saying things like only. But that's not what I didn't come up with that. Somebody else told me that. That's the key. You got to learn. We got to learn. Like we talked about this. You have to have advisors. What's that in chapter 15 of Proverbs? Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. I have many advisors. And so I take what advisors say and I do it. So the advisor says, start using the word only every time you talk about money, especially things that you thought was big. Oh, it's just only $1 million a year. It's only $10 million. It's only $100,000 a month. It's only $50,000 a month. It's only $50,000 a week. It's only $20,000 a day. It's only $25 million a year. I was just looking over, a business that, they're doing about $25 million. It's only $25 million. They're only netting about $2.5 million a year, which is not bad. 2.5 million net. That's not bad. wow, it's only 2.5 million. Wow. What if it was 5 million? What if it was 10 million net? What would I do with that? How can I grow? So it's like taking things and just applying them. So when I look at the push-up game and I knocked it down, I'm like, oh shoot. So when I started, I remember I wanted to do it again and I couldn't do it, but I had forgotten the framework. I wasn't thinking about it until I made the declaration again. Once I declared it, the first thing I did was I said I was going to do it, but then I had to say it out loud. I said it to my wife. So then she was like, did you do your push-ups tonight? And this was like January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And so she was on me. And then when I told my partner, this is the key, guys. You tell somebody else who would hold you accountable. I told my partner, Shauna, I said, hey, Shauna, I'm doing 500 push-ups. She says, well, why don't you put it on Facebook? Oh, more accountability. And then what happens is all of a sudden you got to do it. 500 is easy. Even when I haven't done, yesterday was, I think the day before yesterday, I hadn't done any push-ups, man. It was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm having to between 9 and 11. I had to finish those 500 push-ups. It was all right. I just followed the framework. So what I wish I knew in my 20s is the fact that when you discover your gift, everything changes. Your life changes. Your situation changes. Your bank accounts change. Your relationships change. Like everything changes. And if everything could change, then what would I do? So that's another question. What would I do if everything changed? Wow. Can't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow we will jump into Proverbs 19. Guys, we're not studying the whole chapter. What we're doing is we're just finding little bits and pieces in here because the Bible, look at how thick that is. The Bible is a thick book. That's why most people don't study it. But what if you could just grab one nugget out of the Bible? I took one nugget, and when I realized all you need is one, your life can change. So if I knew that in my 20s, oh my goodness, what could have happened? Where would I be now that I'm 52? I don't know, but you know what? Doesn't matter because here and now, this is where I am. So where are we going? We are going to the promised land. You coming? You coming? Look, let's go to the promised land together. I'd like to support you on your mission, on whatever it is that you want to accomplish right here in this podcast. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're watching on Facebook and you've been watching this for a while, make sure you share it with somebody else. Let somebody else know, hey man, this might be good. I don't know, because you may say it might be good for someone else because you don't always know. So share it with your friends, your networks, and we look forward to serving you guys all throughout this year and beyond. God bless you guys. I will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.